Welcome to AEHelp.com's IELTS test preparation videos. So, you want to predict what is going to be on your next IELTS exam, like the topics for the listening, reading, speaking, and writing sections. Of course, because that can help you to study the right materials. In this video, I will tell you what you can and what you can't guess about your next test. I'm a certified British Council agent. I have been teaching IELTS for over 20 years. I communicate with IELTS examiners on a daily basis, so I'm confident that I can give you the right information about what to expect on your IELTS exam. First, let's discuss what you cannot predict on your next IELTS exam. There are some videos out there and people who claim that they can tell you the specific topic to expect for the speaking or the writing sections on a specific date, like say April 15th, the topic for task 2 will be the environment, or for speaking, they will ask you about your hobbies. This is simply impossible, and this is not the truth. Nobody really knows what the exact topics will be for these different sections. IELTS generates new exams all the time, and they have thousands of different topics to choose from. So this is like trying to win the lottery. And if by some chance the questions are leaked to the public, which is highly illegal, then IELTS will cancel those certificates related to those exams, and you will have to unfortunately redo the test. So, hopefully that's not going to happen, and again, do not be fooled by these specific types of predictions. Even though you can't predict the exact topics of your next IELTS exam, I can help you get ready with a free and fun giveaway contest for your chance to win a speaking interview practice session with me or a Task 1 and Task 2 writing edit with our professionals. This will help you identify your areas of weakness so that you can truly improve your band scores for your next exam. Simply click the link in the video description and follow the instructions. But hurry, this contest ends March 25th. And remember, time travel hasn't been invented yet, so there's just no way to know the specific content of your next IELTS exam. Nevertheless, there are some standard parts of the IELTS exam that allow you to predict some important information that will be on your next test. For instance, in the listening section, you can predict that in part 1, 2, 3, and 4, you will hear at least one monologue and one dialogue. That means possibly a lecture from a university professor, and quite possibly a conversation between 2 or 3 people planning to go, for instance, on a camping trip. It could be a different topic, but it will be a conversation. And this tells you that you have to practice listening to individual speakers, a monologue, as well as multiple people, 2 to 3 people speaking in groups. By doing this, you increase your chance of getting a higher band score on your next listening section. In addition, a good trick for the listening section is looking at the topics of part 2, 3, and 4 of the listening while you are hearing the instructions during the first 90 seconds of the exam. Every IELTS test starts by introducing the IELTS and the listening section instructions. During this time, you are allowed to look at the topics of part 2, 3, and 4. This gives you a bit of an extra chance to have deeper insights into the upcoming topics. But certainly, you cannot guess these before you're actually at your test. Again, in the reading section, you are not able to predict the specific topic that will be on your test. However, you can depend on certain types of topics being presented. In the academic IELTS, it is very likely that your first or second reading passage will be on some kind of a tangible, real-world topic that you can see and touch, like talking about plants and animals, or discussing buildings, or talking about a volcano. It is also very likely that for passage 3, you will have to read a discussion which is not physical. It's more abstract. It may be some subject like philosophy or sociology, psychology. This makes it a bit more challenging to understand. That's why it's the third passage. So, what you need to do when you're going for the academic IELTS is read on both physical and non-physical topics in academic literature. For the general IELTS reading, your first 2 sections will have 4 articles. These articles will be based in topics that you need to function in an English-speaking society, like reading an informational brochure about an upcoming event at your school, or understanding changes to a bus schedule in the city. Once again, you have to go and look for these types of materials on the internet or in a library so that you can get ready for this type of reading. For the writing section, predicting the exact questions for task 1 and task 2 is again a shot in the dark. It is simply impossible, so don't waste your time doing this. Instead, become familiar with the types of writing that task 1 and task 2 expect you to know and understand. For the general IELTS, this means that task 1 is narrative writing, telling a story in the form of a letter. Task 2, for both the academic and the general, is some form of persuasive writing, convincing your reader of some type of idea, an argument, or a position. For task 1 academic, you're writing an expository essay. This is where you have to explain some information from a graph or chart. Again, you can understand a lot about these different types of writing when you learn descriptive, narrative, expository, and persuasive writing styles. You must also understand how to write in the first, second, and third person voice of the author. Having said this, in the general IELTS, for task 1, you can predict that it will be either a formal or an informal essay, so make sure to practice both. For the academic IELTS, you can predict that it will likely be either a table, a pie chart, a bar graph, a line chart, a flow chart, or a diagram. So again, practice writing each of these different types of task 1s. Know the style of these essays rather than predicting the exact question, and you will be much more confident and you will do great regardless of the specific task at hand. You will be able to predict the questions in speaking part 1, 2, and 3 when pigs fly. That basically means it's not likely going to happen. Nevertheless, you can expect certain types of questions to be asked, especially in the introduction, when the examiner is asking for your ID and for your name. So make sure to practice giving clear, fluent, and accurate natural answers for these introductory icebreaker type questions. Of course, you should answer or practice answering questions like, what is your hobby and where do you live? But predicting the specific topic for part 1 is virtually impossible. When I took the IELTS exam incognito, my question was about math, how I like math, when I do math, who taught me math. There was simply no way for me to guess that this is what the examiner would be asking me. Nevertheless, I did know that in part 1, the examiner would ask me questions related to me. So talking about my experience, using the pronoun I, me, my, myself. For part 2, I was asked about a place where I like to go in my city. I had no idea the examiner would ask me this question in my exam that I took in February of 2021. However, I did know that for part 2, the cue card, the examiner would ask me questions about a person, or a place, or an object, or an event, or an idea. So I made sure to practice answering for all 5 of these different kinds of categories. Each one has a unique set of information that help you to give high band responses. Like when we talk about a person, we want to explain a little bit about what they look like and also their actions, so what they do that reflect their personality, their character. So for instance, John, a tall, dark-haired man who is hardworking, wakes up at 5 in the morning and works until 6 at night. This is how we talk about people. There are special structures for talking about objects, places, events, and ideas. You can learn more about these in our full course. This much you can predict, and as long as you're prepared, you will do great. Same for part 3. These are follow-up questions to part 2. They're going to be more detailed and specific. They will ask you for general types of information that don't necessarily relate to you, but relate to the world in general. So you need to be able to tell people information that's specific and factual. These are the predictions that I can guarantee you will experience on your next IELTS test. Don't be fooled by false prophecies. Make sure to practice the right strategies so that you can get those high band scores. Good luck on your next test. For more great video lessons and strategies to get those high band scores on your next IELTS exam, including original practice exams and a fully interactive course, visit and join our premium package at aehelp.com. Use the code PREDICT25 for a 25% discount. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. Begin learning for success today. Subscribe to our channel. Click over here. Watch another video. Click right up here. And click our IELTS Hero to join our premium package and get access to all of our videos, practice exams, and a fully interactive course.